Hey there, guys. Now, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while. Obviously, I had to wait until Ash's Part 3 and then the three endings came out, because, spoilers if you didn't already cotton on, to the hints and stuff in the first and second audio. But yes, now that it's all out in the open, I wanted to explain why Ash can't actually have that sweet, fluffy ending that some people are asking for. You know, where you just live happily ever after together, locked in his house for the rest of your life, with him increasingly getting stressed and agitated over worrying about you leaving. Uh, well, that may have kind of, pushed your thoughts in the right direction, but Ash is incredibly toxic. He'll behave all sweet and soft and kind to try and manipulate you into thinking he's a good guy, to try and get you to stay. Now, I'm not saying Ash is evil, inherently. In fact, he does feel bad about the things that he does. That doesn't make it any better. He is just as toxic as anyone you'd have to cut off from your life from behaving in a way that's bad for you. Now, quite a few people have noticed the manipulation that's evident from Part 1 and Part 2, actually. Part 2 is seen as the cute, fluffy, innocent audio, where it's like, oh my god, he's such a pure cinnamon roll. This is the sweetest Yandere I've ever seen. And, well, I mean, I guess that's what makes him even more dangerous, is the fact that you do perceive him as so sweet and innocent and soft and things like that. Because just because abuse isn't always blatant, doesn't make it not there. It just makes him very good at hiding it. Most of the time. Ash is incredibly good at manipulation, and that's how he's managed to convince so many people that he's a sweet, innocent, good person. And no, I'm so sorry to tell you that, but no. A yandere, by definition, is possessive. And I understand that in a fictional sense, that possessiveness can feel comforting. It's the safe idea that someone loves you so much that they don't want to let you go. But then when it becomes more real, when it becomes how, quote-unquote, real-life yanderes would behave, which is kind of what I'm going for with Ash, it's a lot more subtle, but it's still just as dangerous. And the thing about that is that with that mentality, he will never be satisfied. No reference to Hamilton, sorry. Okay, I did actually write down something right from the get-go in my Discord server, in Spoilers and Theory Dump, when I was explaining Ash's feelings towards the listener, and how it's more of an addiction rather than actual love. Okay, I just pulled up what I did actually say back on the 9th of March 2020. When Ash said, in the very first video, "You're like a drug to me. Every second I'm away from you, I need to be with you. And every moment I'm with you, I feel like I'm on a high." Or something like that. Drug addicts are actually worse off for taking drugs, obviously, even though they feel like they need their next high to be okay. Because that high becomes the norm. But then, they need more and more and more. Because the more they feed into their addiction, the worse they end up, until eventually the addict runs themselves into the ground. Being around Muffin is Ash's equivalent to a drug abuser taking drugs. Ash is covering up his pain and issues and things that he does genuinely need to deal with within himself, with that idea that feeling high and being around Muffin will fix him. If he's upset, angry, feeling lacking, he'll assume he's just not around Muffin enough. Like a drug addict's reasoning for needing more drugs. Ash will run himself into the ground. And to add on to that, sorry, I'm putting my phone down. To add on to that, think about it. As I said, that high becomes the norm. Then you need more and more and more. Until eventually there's nothing left that you can gain from even taking those drugs. So, even if Muffin hadn't tried to escape, even if Muffin did everything in their power to make Ash happy every day, that still would not have been enough, because it's not love, it's addiction. He tells himself that he loves you. He's not lying to you, he's lying to himself, and then by proxy, you. So, someone did actually come up with the theory that this isn't the first Muffin, and won't be the last. And, unfortunately, they were right. Now, I actually didn't think about if there were Muffins before the listener in this series, but there definitely will be more. I'm not sure if I'm going to put those parts up, like if I'm going to actually make those audios. I might do, but yeah. So, I hate to break it to you, but Ash is not your perfect boyfriend. He is unintentionally, but still very much, an abuser. And his behavior shouldn't be okay. Now, yes, I did put it up for entertainment reasons. I myself do enjoy listening to a good yandere, but this was more of a cautionary tale, told in an entertaining way. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that you're bad if you enjoy listening to the audios. I hope you do enjoy listening to the audios. But also do remember that there can't be a happy ending for him. The happiest ending for Ash will be to go to therapy and really work out his issues. His happy ending can't be with Muffin. At least not until he is much, much better. But then, he wouldn't be a yandere anymore, would he? So, I hope I covered everything. If you do have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I may make a part 2 to explaining Ash, because this was just kind of a summary of why he is like that. I have talked about Ash a lot and in depth for ages before, so there's definitely things that I've missed. And if you do have any questions to prompt me to remember what I'm forgetting, then go on ahead. I will be glad to make a part 2. But yes, that is basically why Ash can't be your perfect, happy ending, happily ever after boyfriend. The end. And also, I am sorry.